Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to TITC 2021. D2C businesses became the need of the hour and gained even more popularity with extended lockdowns and increasing traffic in the online marketplace. With India being the fastest growing market for e-commerce business, according to a global reports having technological support and online tools at its back, many small businesses and startups have found their way to introduce their D2C brands easily. However, as easy as it sounds, it entails a lot of hurdles that needs to be tackled. Our next session will talk about the challenges to solve while scaling up your D2C business online. And to shed light on possible solutions to these challenges, we have an amazing industry experts panel to share their insights with us. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me as we welcome our speakers. Ms. Alisha Malik, VP, eCommerce and Marketing, Metro Brands. Ms. Anshu Bhogra, VP, Planning and eCommerce for Revenue. Mr. Siddharth Dungarwal, founder, Snitch, Food and Clothing LLP. And Mr. Shobit Gupta, head, MBL Sports Mobile Premier League. And to steer the session, we have with us Mr. Navin Joshua, founder, director, KartmaX by GreenHonchos. Ladies and gentlemen, to know more about our speakers, you can download the show catalog from the upper tab on the right-hand side of your screen or the handout band. So if you're ready, ladies and gentlemen, over to you, Mr. Joshua.
Hi everyone, pleasure to host such a power-packed set of panelists. This is Navin Joshua. I think our panelists need no introduction. Such iconic brands being represented, across domains from footwear to apparel, men's, women's, fast fashion. We got a sports representation as well from MPL. So it's an honor to have everyone here on a Saturday evening. The last session before the award session is a tricky one. We'll try and keep it short, within about 25 odd minutes. So, I'll just move to the first question. I think a couple of panelists here are actually iconic offline brands, one Metro Brands, one Forever New. I think in this, post-pandemic or, whatever we could call it, I think Omni-channel earlier was more of a buzzword, where in India it was all more about omni-fulfillment rather than the omni experience. I do know that both the brands are on omni-channel paths. So just wanted some thoughts, one after the other. Maybe Anshu could go first. And then, Alisha, if you could share any of your general thoughts on omni-channel post-pandemic and the reality, rather than just the buzzword.
Hi. So yes, Forever New started its Omni business way back in December 2020. And I would say it wasn't an easy change. The mindset of people, training the store staff to get into Omni fulfillment, the tech capabilities, the team, the bandwidth in the company, it wasn't really there for us to start Omni. But from the word go, we delivered. The team was charged up. We realized the benefits. We could see the numbers trickling in. In fact, in the month of December itself, we got 80% of our total business came from Omni. And even now, it's still rocking. 25% growth and 50% of the total business of our online channel comes from Omni. So it has been a slow and steady, I would say it's a process. But now we are fully entrenched in, and we are now onboarding other partners as well as going live for our own portal for Omni also. With inventory being such an expensive resource, now it's being available across all channels to all the customers. And I think the seamlessness of it is giving us results, and we are very, very happy about it.
Sure. Excellent. Glad to hear that. So, Alisha, request you to please come in with any of your thoughts from an industry understanding. You've got so much experience with this.
Thanks so much. So I think, according to me, Naveen, omni-channel is definitely online and offline as separate channels is only in the mind of the business. It is not in the mind of the consumer. For the consumer, they want to reach out to a brand. They want to do it with convenience. It's where they can access. So for a brand to be omni-channel is something that they need to do at the back end. It's not definitely for the consumer end. Having said that, we've been running omni operations for our stores, I think, since we started our website, with tech or without tech. And yes, it is challenging, but everything in e-commerce is challenging. And what happens is that the devil is in the detail. You need to make sure that it's a compelling proposition for all stakeholders to partner in the journey and to make it a success. There's no, you can't. The point is, how do you enable it to make it you can? So it needs to be convenient for the store managers, it needs to be convenient for the people executing, and it needs to be convenient for the customers. E-commerce is frictionless, and that's what you need to create.
Excellent. No, great thoughts to kickstart this. And I'd love to now bring in Shobit as well as Sid. So Sid's, I'm not sure, but I'd love to talk about it. So Snitch has been, an absolute amazing crackerjack success story. Started from scratch, just pre-pandemic or probably just in the midst of it, and significant scale as an online first men's fast fashion brand. So Sid, I just want you to, just talk to us about, I think the topic really is scaling one's D2C and the challenges. And you've probably done that in the most challenging period. So I'm sure we'd all love to hear a bit about your experiences there.
Sure. With us, it was very different, right? We were never focused D2C. It all happened all of a sudden. And we just started our website with barely 30 products on the website. But gradually we understood our consumers really well. We understood that this could scale to a huge extent. And that is when we started, adding a lot of categories, playing with a lot of designs, styles, fits, fabrics, etc. More than that, I would say it was the response that we got from consumers. Even the repeats that we have, it is at about 35 to 39%, which is phenomenal for a 1-year-old brand, which shows, for a fresh brand like ours, trust becomes a huge factor because of the kind of frauds happening on Facebook, Instagram, etc. To gain that trust, we had to work around a 360-degree approach, which I think the team is phenomenally, done that really well, and that is why probably we've been able to scale it so fast.
Excellent. So Shobit, Shobit runs the MPL sports business. So having said that, it's an extremely exciting time with a lot of sports now in terms of the IPL as well as the World Cup up there. And I'm sure you're seeing huge growth in the sports domain for MPL here. And what's the kind of preparation that you're seeing and preparing for that scale, Shobit? And I know that the team's working on the consumer experience, the customer engagement side. What are the typical challenges, life in a day's work, that you're seeing coming through the ranks?
Yeah. It has been a fairly interesting journey last 7 months when we launched our own brand, right? As in, the idea of MPL Sports is actually to establish sports merchandising in India. I don't think, there has been a concentrated effort. In US, it's a pretty big industry, and in India, it's fairly underpenetrated, right? So we are basically solving from first principles, right? What should be the right product? What should be the right distribution channel, pricing strategy, everything, right? So last 7 months were pretty interesting. And I think obviously there were a lot of challenges because, MPL, it's not in their core DNA, right? So to set up that team and, we took certain calls like, let's not reinvent the wheel. There are a lot of standardized tech solutions, standardized logistics, CS services, and we should focus on where we are good at, which is, kind of product and marketing, right? And happy to say that I think the amount of effort that team has spent in last 7 months, when you are dealing with Indian cricket team, that's, I would say proudly, the biggest IP which is there. We have kind of, serviced our customers really well. And in terms of preparation, I think while every brand talks about festive, I think this is our biggest festival. World Cup is coming. So we are all gearing up for that. And obviously there are a lot of interesting plans and very exciting journey for us in next 1.5 months. Yeah.
Sure. So, Sid, a follow-up question. I'll just probably go the reverse here. In terms of technology or in terms of digital for the consumer engagement side, and any specific items that the team's been focusing on to plan for scale. I know we're part of some of these discussions internally, but would love to hear a little more on your end.
I mean, like I told you, it needs to be a 360-degree approach. So there's performance marketing. There is a good amount of branding that is involved, the product and consumers. We've been doing things out of the box, with our creatives, with the kind of the shoot that we do. Basically, it is a little not so e-commerce kind. The kind of engagement that we are doing with influencers is helping us a lot. So we just don't want a dependability on one source. Hence, it is a distributed way of marketing, going more organic. We just launched our app like a couple of months back, and we have 1 lakh plus downloads, which is,
a good start.
I don't think so. Any brand would have seen such a positive response, but we've been able or blessed to see that. So yeah, it is a combination of a lot of things.
Excellent. So Alisha, back to you. So what I just wanted to pick your brain on is the consumer behavior we've seen has changed. There's a lot more adoption for tech or the digital channel for online purchase, for lack of an option in most cases in the last couple of years. But with physical retail, coming back up, hopefully soon and sooner and quicker, do you feel that the consumer buying pattern has really shifted? Any change that you figured out in personas? Because I know you're very deep into marketing as well and data and analytics. What's your thought on? Do you really feel that there is a consumer shift that has actually seeded in the pattern?
So the way I'd respond to that, Navin, is that there's been a tremendous amount of digital adoption. My mom didn't know how to shop online until the pandemic. So you've definitely gotten that digital adoption happening pan-India. And that's something that is not going to go backwards. You can't reverse that. The fact is that consumers are far more comfortable shopping online. So consumer behavior has changed in that way. But what I don't see is offline dropping, because even now when we look at our sales that are recovering in the offline space, the 2019 numbers are also getting exceeded. So the point is that offline shopping is not going to end. Online shopping will increase. Why you go to a physical store is what offline retail needs to be a little bit more cognizant of, and why are customers coming online is what now brands need to really understand and tweak their customer journeys accordingly. So according to me, India is a social country. Shopping for them is a social outing. Like you want to go either with your family or your friends. You want that excitement of retail therapy, and it's that emotion is not something that will really leave. So you have to see it from both angles, and you have to be very cognizant, look at the data, map customer journeys, which I think we ourselves have a long way to go on, to see what is really happening. But as a short answer, that's it.
Sure. No, thanks a ton. It does help lend perspective. I'll bring you in, Anshu, because I know you're also very much a student as well as leading the marketing efforts there. How's it been in terms of the change in marketing strategies to push. I do know there's a huge organic following as well for the brand, given its origin with Forever New. But apart from that, on the paid marketing and on the technology, what have been the efforts and initiatives in the last few months, Anshu?
Many, I would say. And in fact, it is at both ends for the online customer and for the offline customer. And I resonate with what Alisha said, that the offline business is soaring high without a real dip in the online business. So the consumer behavior for particularly our brand, like for Revenue, the offline business still holds the roost. However, having said that, there is a lot of consumer engagement, a lot of strategy changes to get the consumer has been underway. Yes, we have a bunch of loyal customers, and 70% of our business comes from them. So a lot of paid marketing is now directed at getting them back, getting them converted online, having different kind of engagement strategies for them, even at the offline. In fact, there's a hybrid model. So in some stores, the engagement would be at a very different level, and in some cities, the engagement is at a very different level. So there are various and very hybrid kind of strategies that we are doing for different kind of customers, and that's the change that has come in our business. That we have stopped seeing customer as a singular entity, and so different strategies for different kind of people, different kind of customers is what's happening. So remarketing efforts towards getting the repeat customers in, getting the search words right to get the new customer in. So a lot of different things are happening at our platform. In fact, we recently changed our agency also, and got into more efficient way of marketing and spending money. The budgets have been increased because seeing the sales now, the budgets are now better to be invested in. So yes, a lot of action happening at that front.
Excellent. So Shobit, allow me to bring you in. I wanted to discuss about, I think, one of the big reasons for this D2C push is, data, personalization, really insights into the customer journey. What have been, internal initiatives on this front, Shobit? What's your view on that business when you compare it with the marketplace business? And there's a lot more available in one's own D2C.
Yeah, correct. As in, I feel that, D2C is, because we are an online-led brand, it's my store in online, right? As in, I can control the narrative. I can decide that how do I want to navigate the customer, right? So, and being a sports-led property, which is, built with Indian cricket team as the first IP, right? We use a lot of data to understand that who are the favorite players, right? For the customer, what do they like? Even to give you an idea, right? For example, it's a very context-led selling that we do. So if India team does well in a certain format, we actually change the way the page looks, right? Or let's say if a player does well, right? So we have a lot of context around social, our website, the way we talk to customers, right? So we use data basis context and basis what the preferences of customers are, right? So that has really helped us push. Secondly, on D2C side, it's a very strong sports-led narrative, that content, whether it's the journey such as, customization where people can put their names and number, or, if we have actually, launched a lot of capsule collections, right? Which is not possible on marketplaces, and you can actually enhance the brand, right? So these kind of initiatives we have taken, and we are planning a lot more like this in the next 1.5 months, right? Which is typically not possible in marketplaces.
Got it. Thanks for shedding some light on that. When I was taking some, possible questions from the team in terms of what their takeaways would want it to be from challenges of D2C, we couldn't avoid RTO and COD. So I'd like to bring in, Sid for one of them and Alisha for one of them. I'll give the RTO pains to Sid, so that Alisha has the time to talk about the COD pains. So anyone go first, please. Sid, do you want to? Sid, you're on mute, please.
Yeah. Sorry. So you've seen us, right? We were at an RTO rate of about 45% when we started. So again, and I didn't even know the meaning of an RTO when we started actually. So, but then we controlled. We saw where we could control. Added a lot of plugins. Did a lot of research. Added a bit of tools, and it has helped us. So what I typically feel an RTO is. It's like a termite which cannot be removed off e-commerce D2C. You'll have to live with it, but you could control it, and we've controlled it now and got it below 20%, which again I think is a great thing. And I mean, you'll have to live with this. This is never going to go off. RTO
let
or
us into
COD.
some hacks of how you've reduced it over time.
So like we have these HRFs which are more towards high risk of fraud that is detected. Any temporary address, phone numbers, PIN codes, we would either call the customer or cancel those orders. We've done a lot of follow-up things, integrated a lot of solutions towards it. Let it be the NDR or fake remarks by the courier partners, which has helped us again bring it down by about 3 or 4%. A lot of back-end work is increased. We tend to call almost 500 to 600 orders on a daily basis to verify if they have any history of an RTO. So yeah, again, like a combination of a lot of things, which has helped us reduce it to about 18 or 20% today.
Sure. So no, I've been very close witness to some super efforts to bring it down by a big number there. So real kudos to the team there. And so Sid, that shirt out there is really nice on the back hanger. Is that a bestseller there?
No, it's an upcoming collection actually.
Okay, excellent. So Alisha, we really need some help with how the COD space. How much do you think it can? Prepaid could be incentivized. How do you think it's better managed? What has been the experience that you could share with us?
Unfortunately, I really have no good news here. The biggest pain point of COD is just that it is extremely expensive, more than anything else. Not only in terms of the return percentage of COD transactions, but also the cost of doing COD.
Right.
So the fact is that honestly, at the beginning of the pandemic, we disabled COD, and we really hoped, honestly, that would be a COVID lining, as such that customers would get used to prepaid. But unfortunately, needs must, we had to switch it back on. It had to come back, and
Right.
it still is driving volume. The customer just feels too comfortable with that mode. Another massive pain point is actually refunds. So the fact is that when you actually have to refund the customer, you've got to get their bank details, then go through all that manual process of speaking to them, that kind of customer service team dedication, things like that, to ensure that happens. So it's unfortunately a reality of the situation. And just on a broader based question, since we're on this topic of returns, I really think our logistics partners have a ways to go. I mean, we've received a pram, we've received a three-piece suit, we've received the most random kind of returns in our warehouse. So there's just a long way to go in the logistics part of e-commerce. Is my actual view on the subject.
Right.
COD is just basically an expensive but very customer-friendly option.
Sure.
Can I say something, Alisha, here? Just take it as a cost of the business. We've gone through this. We've been pained, spent lots of money on rectifying it. Doesn't happen. 60% of our business still comes from COD. 98% of our NDRs are CODs. But that's the cost of doing business is what I believe. One day, I think collectively, if we can figure out a solution to it, I'll be the first one to grab it.
We need to convince the marketplaces to switch it off, I think. And then we can.
In fact, I'll give you an example. Tata Click for us, so they disabled COD for our brand because they realized that a lot of returns are coming from COD. And apparently the business really didn't dip. But it's a very small business with them, so I'll not be able to comment. But they were the ones who did it with our brand and did not really see a dip in the business. But we don't want to take that risk with bigger portals.
Shobit, you were saying something? Sorry.
No, I was saying that this is a very interesting conversation. We just went live with COD last week, so I think we were always a believer in prepaid, and now this, I don't know whether it's encouraging or discouraging, but time will tell.
All the best.
Yeah.
धंधा चाहिए तो cost लेना पड़ेगा
लेना पड़ेगा. Top line चाहिए तो चाहिए.
Yeah, no, the last time I was doing a webinar a couple of weeks back, we had I won't name them, but we had a leading logistics player co-founder on the panel. And, it seemed that the rest of the panelists were beginning to just attack, the logistics part of it. And he started, he came back with a self-defense saying, you guys are not marketing right. So it came back to us to just kind of even it up, saying, you need to target better, you need to get a better quality customer. It's not the logistics, it kind of balanced the previous panel discussion. So I ensured we didn't have one representation from that on this call. So I think all fair thoughts. I think maybe just 3 or 4 minutes. We'll probably spare one last thought. I know we've already overrun on time, but the question that I had, and probably Shobit, if you could help, I think the marketplaces really have set a benchmark when it comes to the post-order experience, apart from taking care of things like COD and more encouragement, etc., which you've spoken about. But the entire post-order management is where they've done a stellar job. And I think the D2C businesses, because they're using third parties rather than their own logistics and their own payment gateways, are obviously struggling to match that level. And I do believe that that's the holy grail. If we are able to give that experience, then customers will keep coming back, because the Amazon promise, the Myntra promise is very strong on that side. Any thoughts from you on that, Shobit?
No, you are right. As in, we went live on Amazon and Flipkart like a month back, right? And there is no way. I think, at least in my understanding, all the D2C brands are fairly aware that there is no way you can match Amazon and Flipkart when it comes to the kind of customer-friendly policies that they will have and the kind of infrastructure that they have created. So we have taken a conscious call that we will cater to a very different customer segment when it comes to our own D2C channel. So we have a very loyal base, right? Whenever we launch a new product, they eventually come buy it because it happens first on our portal, right? Or secondly, they are quite used to our website. They know what kind of services they will get, right? So it's a very different TG. So I think at least we have taken a conscious call that we will have certain matrices that we'll manage, and we will depend on third-party services, because having that like whole warehousing, logistics, customer service in-house is a cost that we don't want to internalize right now. At a certain scale, maybe we'll take those calls, but I feel it's doing quite well, right? If you have I think certain if I leave certain variances, I think it does quite well. But as I said, right, I'm just getting into COD. Let's see how things change. But if you set up a team which is like constantly working with the right vendors and having those operational control, it's a grunt, but it's manageable. And I think e-commerce is all about grunt, right? It's the marketing is the sexy part, but it's all about operations and logistics at the end of the day. Yeah.
Amen. Yeah. So,
just another perspective on this, Navin. It's just, see, marketplaces are always going to be big box. I think what's important for D2C brands, right, is to find the unique space in the product that they're offering to provide that differentiated experience. So just if it goes to, like, for example, selling footwear, how can you make it easier for a customer to find this?
right.
Again, as I will say, that this journey will always be ever evolving. But my point is that those are the levers of differentiation that D2C brands have over marketplaces.
Right.
There's no point fighting them on their strengths. It's more like find the white spaces that you can win in.
Yeah,
I
I
think
agree.
that's a great thought, and I just like to just go about and have our panelists help me summarize or wrap up for lack of more time, but challenges to solve for while scaling up the D2C business. Any last thoughts from Anshu and Sid, one each, from your perspective that we can leave for our viewers, and then we can then round it off.
So the last thought that I have is differentiate your portal against the marketplaces. We do it with our product. We offer new launches to our customers way in advance, just a lot before than marketplace offers. So yes, use the levers of differentiation for D2C portals and you'll rock.
Excellent. Sid, your last word, please.
Yeah, pretty much the same. I would just add on that you could take heads on with the marketplaces, at least with the post-purchase journey. We've done a lot of things towards this, which has helped us actually retain our customers in terms of exchange or returns. As soon as a product is picked from a customer, the refund or exchange is initiated, which a lot of people want. We've seen consumers telling the logistic partner that I'm giving you the product, give me the money right now. So this is the perception that people have. Like when they received it, they have paid you. So once you are taking it back, pay me back. So we got a lot of complaints towards this, and we worked with our logistics partners, got this integrated, and it is helped out. So it is just about finding solutions to your problems. Should ease a lot of things.
Excellent. Thanks a ton. It's been an absolute pleasure. The half an hour was a breeze, but with panelists like you, I think we did touch upon a lot of challenges, and hopefully, we'll send recorded versions back to whoever we can, so it can add value to anyone who's really looking to scale the D2C, and all the best to everyone there. If we could just have our moderator back in. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Joshua.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And thank you, a big thank you to all our panelists. That was such an interesting and engaging session. Let's have a look at the short video of KartmaX by GreenHonchos.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. A big thank you once again to all our panelists. With this, ladies and gentlemen, we come to an end of the sessions of Tech India Transformation Convention TITC 2021, organized by Industry Live, presented by KartmaX by GreenHonchos, supported by VRAR Association, with Sugarbox Networks and Ambab Infotech Private Limited as our session partners. But don't you go anywhere, as we have come to the most awaited segment of the show, Tech India Transformation Awards 2021. I'll see you there.